Hi YouTube! Welcome to day 5 of my birthday countdown vlog. Today I will be talking about my 35th year, which was primarily in 2007. And again today we have a little guest. This is my dog Lexi, and she's decided she wanted to snuggle up with me a little bit on the couch while I'm here. Anyway, so 2007 was yet again an interesting year for me. I was working that entire year for the company I'd worked for ultimately 11 years before I got let go. And that year was a particularly stressful year in my job there. My management was receiving a lot of pressure from upper management, and I don't know all the circumstances. I don't know exactly what was going on. All I know is that our team was feeling a lot of stress and a lot of pressure from our management, and it got to the point where we all dreaded coming in to work every day. No matter what we did, no matter what kudos we received from other departments, no matter what successes we achieved, every single day we were being criticized over and over again from our management, and it was just really very stressful. That year was the year that we launched a massive project. We were the online marketing team, and we launched a brand new website externally, a brand new website internally to the company. The company was merging with another company and getting completely rebranded with a new logo and new colors and everything, new slogan for the company, just the whole 9 yards. Everything was just basically being redone. And we had this massive project that year to get it all done in time for the official announcement and everything. The last 3 weeks coming up to that, our entire team was working 16, 18-hour days, 7 days straight. I mean, there wasn't a single day break that any of us had until the launch happened. In fact, even our manager herself, she stayed up with us till 2, 3 in the morning. The things that she had technical competency to help us with, she did. In areas where she didn't, she helped us with testing and making sure things worked. So the one kudos I have to give to her is the fact that she actually was out there working with us and not just expecting us to do all that work by ourselves, which was, I think the whole team appreciated that. Although in the end of the day, despite the fact that it was a successful launch, everything went up properly, there wasn't any major broken anything from the launch. It was actually one of the smoothest launches I participated in the 10 years at that point that I've been working there. And still, there was criticism from management. Still, it felt like there was nothing we could do right. So it was a very stressful year. At the end of the day, near the end of the year, finally, our manager just couldn't take the pressure anymore, and she ultimately ended up resigning over the whole situation. As I said, I don't know exactly what was all going on at the management and upper management levels. I just know that our team, that all of us little underlings, were feeling the stress very, very strongly. Then, at the end of the year, though, however, I finally had a chance to talk to our director and talk to him about the fact that I had been working there at that point about 10 years, and I was still classified as an entry level from HR. And I was very not happy about that, and I was starting to seriously seek other positions. Part of it was because of all the stress and the pressure that was going on that year, and part of it was because I was getting sick and tired of still being at the very bottom rung of my career ladder after 10 years and working really hard, and I received numerous awards at work for my for the projects that I successfully completed, and yet I was not moving up incrementally in my career path, and I was not happy with that. I am somewhat of an ambitious person, and I need to feel like I'm making progress. If I'm just stagnating in a dead-end position, then I'm sorry, I've got to move on. And I very nearly did accept a job offer from another company, and when I sat down and talked to our director and let him know what was going on, he looked into it and he was like, oh wow, you're right. And he actually did give me a full promotion to the next level, and included a 15% increase in my pay, which was sorely long overdue at that point. And that was really great, and ultimately I ended up staying. Although, as you found out yesterday, that I only stayed another year, and then I got laid off anyway. So that figures it's how it happens, isn't it? But after that, that really made me feel good. It's like after all that stress, and after all that, I finally got some acknowledgement from management, and got the raise and promotion, which was great. And then at the very end of the year, Dave and I had an annual holiday trip where we decided to travel, and one of the things I had wanted to do for a very long time was travel to Germany for the holidays. I have family there. My grandmother's siblings, many of them are actually still alive. I think, well, half of them are. There's about 5 of them as of today that are still around, from the original 9 children that her mom had. And I am still very close with one particular sibling's family, my grandmother's sister, Lena. So my grandmother was the oldest, and then she had a sister, Lena, and her son, Adolf, and his family are the ones that we've kept in touch with the most over the years, and we still exchange Christmas packages every year. So they always send a package with German goodies and little fun things, and usually always a nice sweater and things too. This one isn't from Germany, but the hoodie that I wore yesterday, the blue one, was from them, and it's his wife, my uncle's wife, who's the one who handmade that dirndl that I talked about the other day, the Swiss Miss outfit that I was wearing when I got let go from that other job. But it's been a really good connection, because I don't really have much family left in the U.S. All I had coming over to this country was my grandparents and my mom and my uncle, and my grandparents have all passed away on both sides of the family. I never knew my father, long story for another time, and my mom has passed away. She passed away about 7 years ago as well. So all I have left is my mom's brother, my uncle, in the U.S. now, and everyone else is still in Germany. I've never actually experienced a real German Christmas in Germany before, and I planned this for years and years and years, and one of the big things I promised myself is when I paid off my credit cards, which I did in 2007, I was going to treat myself to a trip to Germany for Christmas. And that's exactly what I did. Now, at this point, Dave and I had been dating for a couple of years, and so I was like, well, Dave, you want to come with? And so he actually came with, and overall, we had a really good time. Obviously, it was really cold out, and it was middle of winter. We were there for about 2-3 weeks between Christmas and New Year's. But it was really nice. I mean, we arrived in Munich, and stayed with my cousins, my Uncle Adolf's son, Jürgen, who is a drummer in a heavy metal band there in Germany. The band he's in right now is called Megahertz. So if you are at all familiar with German hard rock heavy metal bands, you might know them, and he is the current drummer for that band right now. And we stayed with them for a day or two, helping them get things ready for Christmas, and then we had a rental car, so we then drove from there to where my uncle and his wife live in Isnim-Allgäu. Basically, Isnim-Allgäu is in southern Germany, and we planned one side trip on the trip since we had a rental car, and Dave has always wanted to go to Monte Carlo. So we thought, well, why don't we try and drive down to Monte Carlo for a few days? And that's exactly what we did. We found out it's about a 7-hour drive from where we were in Germany down to Monte Carlo, and my cousin Jurgen gave us his GPS, which really had helped so much. It was just amazing. We did not get lost at all. We drove through 7 different countries. We drove through the Alps, through Austria, and then Switzerland and Liechtenstein, and Italy, and France, and ultimately Monte Carlo, and of course Germany as well, part of the trip. So we drove through all these different countries, and we stopped a number of times along the way for food and things, and it was just magnificent. The only downside from the trip was we drove into Italy, and getting into Italy, even though they don't have a border patrol in terms of you have to have a passport or anything, they do have a massive toll system. When you're entering the country, you have to pay this toll before they let you onto their roads in the country. And so it was almost like a border patrol, and there were people walking around with guns, and it was really bizarre and surreal considering all the other border crossings we'd done up until that point. And our original plan was to stop in Milan for lunch. And we get to Milan, we get off the highway, and we get into the city, and we were driving around looking for places to eat, and we were shocked at how dirty and scary it was. And we drove around for quite a while, I think a good half an hour, through different neighborhoods, and there was graffiti and dirt and poverty, and we were like, we're getting the heck out of here. But up until then, the trip was great, and what was amazing to us is as we kept going further south, we went from middle of winter to early spring, middle of summer, just within a 7-hour span from where we were in Germany down to Monte Carlo, where it was 75 degrees, it was sunny, there were oranges on the trees, there were flowers blooming everywhere, green grass, and it was such a contrast from the 5-6 feet of snow that they had in Germany from where we were staying, because we were staying near the Alps and everything. So it was really interesting, and it was really cool. And going to Monte Carlo was fun. We decided to get really dressed up when we went to the casinos. We read that the casinos had a very strict dress code. We were dismayed to find out that they no longer enforce that dress code. We were in there, and I would say 1/3 to 1/2 of all the people in the casinos were in just t-shirts and jeans and flip-flops. And here we were in, Dave was in a suit and tie, I was in a nice slacks suit. Dave had a lot of fun doing some gambling. His favorite gambling game is craps. Unfortunately, craps is considered an American table game and is not very common in Europe. We found one casino with a craps table, and like no one was playing on it. And apparently the big part of what makes craps fun is having all the people around the table and people shouting and clapping and cheering when the numbers come up and things. And it's really not fun if you're the only one playing. And so ultimately we ended up at the main casino playing roulette, which was sort of the big game going on there. It was either roulette, blackjack. There was a little bit of poker, but it was mostly roulette, blackjack, and slot machines, and that was the primary gambling going on in Monte Carlo. We also had a chance to wander around the town a little bit. We visited, they have a Japanese garden, which was really beautiful. They had a beautiful koi pond and the Zen gardens with the lines in the sand, and lots of pretty flowers and things, and that was really nice. And there was a museum that had all sorts of interesting antique toys. I think it was an antique toy exhibit going on while we were there. And anyway, at the end of the day, it was a great trip, and that was one of the good parts of 2007. After all the stress of work, after you know, to end the year with a promotion, a raise, and a fun European trip, it ultimately ended up wrapping up the year very nicely. So 2007 in the end wasn't, it started off really bad, and it ended up on a very positive note, and that was a good thing. Anyway, until tomorrow, bye!